inference from a text extract, some whereby you can have just a few pieces of text, not combined, I mean connected like just as the sentence, then they are referring to the same thing. So what you do, you treat each text extract separately. You take one, like an example like this, you have that text extract like going shopping. Then, if they are talking about something, I think you see that, okay, that was a person going alone. So if he's going shopping, it means this. So you can be break it down like this. You have the extract, you ask yourself what you know about it, the person, then you make it an inference. So that could be an approach for that. Right, so on the inference, I don't think we have so many things to talk about. You can add up, but these are the things that I want to talk about on the inference. The other part was just a small part about, like, we talked about the reading strategy. So there was like a general reading strategy, as we talked about. I know the SQ3R. But that one was just a general one. But in terms of this, we can, I mean, just go and add on some information that we know. But I can assume that we get the picture, right? When we talk about if someone say you need to make an inference when you are reading, I believe that we understood, we could know what they are talking about, right? With what I've talked about. Is there anyone who is confused with what I'm saying? If I can say that, okay, when you say an inference, what are you talking about? Can be there somebody who can fail to explain what it is about? Or we are clear up to this point? Yes, answer yes or no, because I need an answer from you. If you have gotten what you are talking about, because the whole issue I've been talking about here is just about inference. If you have understood when you say inference, what it means, the whole idea, as I said, it's the same as you have been taken to a stranger's home, right? So because you are in a stranger's home, they're not going to be telling you everybody. There are going to be other people who are going to tell you that we the Jordan, we the Mary, but there are going to be other people who are going to come. They will not tell you who you do what. But with the interaction, you can say, take the details and conclude. You are going to call what? Maybe you have heard you buy to 4. So I've made these 3. I didn't count this 4th one. So this could be the 4th one. So all those details. So that's what we have been talking about here. You assume that it's text in the text. It's like a stranger's house. You are reading. In that house, they are going to be telling you names of people, but some of the names are not going to be telling you the names. But they will tell you the characteristics. You see the behavior of those people. So you have to make your own conclusion who they are, something like that. So that's all about this. And I know that when you go reading, and you're going to find out, I think you have said this before, whereby you struggle somehow to understand a text because you don't know what it's talking about. Not because the text, the words are difficult, but the actual thing is the writer didn't tell you exactly that here is they are talking about each, right? That's where inferencing is needed now, right? You just go and look for clues and you make a conclusion. This should be talking about this. If you are not understanding, read on, right? And you see somewhere else in some other links, they refer back to this same thing. This one should be this, right? But are we clear as from this? I just want to get your feedback. Are we? Anybody? Or we are not? Because people say silence, it means a lot. It couldn't mean anything, right? Okay. So if you don't respond, what is it? Is it that you fear to say that you, because it's yourself, you know yourself that I think I have understood what is being said. So it's a matter of, it's okay, I have understood personally. Maybe you expect to say as a group that we have understood, so which cannot be, cannot have it, right? Yeah, but I'm assuming that you have gotten this the inference part, which is not a complication. If there's another question, you can say that maybe we're not understanding it, or you can try to look up for information, because nowadays we are in the information age whereby you find the information online, right? So this is just the last part. I wanted also to go back to one thing, because there's that assignment. I think everybody has seen that assignment. I know I've said it was one of those first topics, but I wanted to just go through again, maybe to the corner, not taking forward. I felt like maybe, I need to talk about it in detail. I did, but maybe I will go back to it later on. But to finish with, I want to just talk about this. There's one, apart from what we talked about already, strategy. This is just one other general strategy. But that SQ3R, it was like a specific for that. But this is also another one that could be used as the time goes. As I say that usually if you got a longer passage, if you have a little bit shorter passage, it's easier to just read anyhow. But usually when you have longer passages, it's where you need to have a particular strategy, or else you are going to read it for 2 hours and discover that you didn't get anything, right? So this general, strategy that I want to talk about is having here, you'll see these 9 steps, which is somehow, it's also linked with maybe what we've been talking about, whereby you are having key points, you are pinpointing key points, right? So if you remember, we talked about scanning, we talked about skimming. So some of these are linked with that, whereby it's okay, how are you going to start reading, right? Yeah, but say you have say you want to understand the passage, right? This approach could not be effective. Say you start by looking at the title, right? You read at the title, you ask yourself questions. We read the title, say, okay, what is this? What do you know? Because that's another issue. What do you know about the title? Or what do you think about the title? It's like you link it with the inference thing we were talking about, like your personal background. Do you know anything about the title? Or what do you think this could be about? Like the struggle of Chakuti. Even like what these movie titles tells us. Sometimes you can guess, would it be a title here? Film with your car, the action, or the drama, by the title only, right? So, reading the title, in the second, say, grace through the questions. Right? So, okay, you can, you see most of the passage, you have the passage, then at the end, they have questions, most of them, about the passage, right? So you could say, okay, you go through the title, then you go where there are the questions, just go briefly through the questions, okay? Then you go through the process of locating what you're supposed to read. Meaning, if you go to the process we talked about already, scanning, right? Or I think this one could be, let me say, skimming. If we say that we should be able to differentiate between scanning and skimming, because all these two are the techniques of going through the passage quickly, right? But the scanning, we say that you are looking for a specific detail. That maybe they are talking about somebody who is the name is John. Then when you are going through, you'll be looking where John is. Oh, there's John here, there's John there, something like that. Well, skimming is just like to just have an overview of the whole material together, right? So this one, you could be doing skimming because it's just what you want to read. Maybe if you have got specific details, then you are going to choose. After that, you say you'll be circling, which is another say, okay, you'll be circling signal words, because as you go, you'll be seeing some other signaling words. here, just say, okay, there's this word which is signifying something. Then you be circling eye-catching words. There are some other words that are signaling, they are showing, maybe because you see the title, okay, they are signaling something about the title. Eye-catching words, they're just some other maybe words that are strange, whereby I mean, but some other, like the words that some of the words that are they use headlines use, right? Use this, or you use, I mean, whereby Amazon this word, eh? It's an interesting word, right? Instead of just saying this, let's use this word. So you're going to circle those words. Then you are going to be looking for visual information. That okay, what are the visual details that have been included? Reading the directions now, where they are pointing you at all the details, and looking at the sample answers, then analyzing the questions. Okay, let's just quickly, I think we're going to finish with this. As I say, it's the same thing. That is just an addition. As you know the title, there's so many titles, and when you look at the title, why is it important for you to start by just checking the title? It can help you to predict. Sometimes you can predict what the story is going to be about without reading it, right? Some of the, like here, talking about, there are some of the a few titles whereby the session, you look at them, ask yourself, what do you think it's about, right? Rising seas, right? Numeration, human powered pumps for African farmers, right? And I think you have seen yourself even when you are looking at this news material. You usually stop at the headline that is giving you interest, right? You don't just read all the stories and go through. You usually, you check the headlines, right? The titles, eh? If you want to read interesting, you post there. I think you're going to get this interesting. Then you go through the text. So why do you have to go to that? Because I mean, that one it will tell you whether you are looking for something like that. And it can even give you an idea if it's going to be an interesting article or not by the title, right? So that's the part that you can start with according to that, and then you know that as we talk about that, there are specific questions that are asked about that passage. And say you grace through the questions, and you will know the type of task and have a purpose in the mind. And say usually if you have your passage and if you go through the questions, what they do usually, the questions, they go through the passage, and usually number one is from at the beginning, number two should be in the middle or somewhere. What? So usually they will highlight, ask questions based on important areas of the text, right? Now, when you are going through the text, after you have glanced the questions, you can have like a purpose. While I'm reading this, I want to find the answer for this. The first question. You read, oh, the first question, I think the answer lies here. As you go, oh, the second question, it is being explained here. As you go through, because imagine if you don't check the questions, you read, you finish the passage, and you discover there are questions at the end. Then since you have read a wrong passage, it means you have to go back at the beginning and start reading again, right? But when you check the questions first, it means when you are reading, where there's the answer for a question, you know, oh, that question, the answer is here, before you go and read so many times, right? So that's maybe the advantage that this technique of going through the questions first can do to you. Locating what you should read, as here say, you should read first, I think, which is another technique. You read the first paragraph first, which is, I mean, the first paragraph, sorry, which is now the same displaced qualifiers. Reading the paragraph first and reading the first paragraph is not the same, right? Because reading the paragraph first, you say, okay, you read all the paragraphs, and you end up reading all the, but reading the first paragraph, you're talking about if you have got the passage, if it has got the 10 paragraphs, you make sure you read the first paragraph completely, right? You are done with the paragraph, then the first paragraph and the last of each the last sentence of each paragraph, right? So you have paragraph and last sentence. Even if you don't check what is in between, you can have the idea, right, of what's being talked about. So that is going to help you to grasp the whole idea of the passage together. And then while reading a passage now, this now, okay, yes. Do the room 6, Right. I think I'm not doing this. I don't know what's the time now. So it should be. I think you can also give the gentleman to start off with this one. Could indicate the situation high boss. Yeah. So I say that just to finish up, like I mean, to say you're trying to locate the information that to get the grasp by looking first paragraph, looking last sentence, then you start your reading process. Because when you're talking about circling, signaling words, instead to say, okay, let me read. You have a picture that he's talking about this. But many ideas now. As you are reading a passage, you should circle any signaling words because the headline has told you, the Christ is in Malawi. So as you read any word that is signaling a crisis, you circle that word. Oh, this. As you are reading, you are going through, right? For example, here, say some of the signaling words could be these words. For example, there's a word that shows contrast, right? Words that are shown like but, however, in fact, those are signaling words, because you can have a sentence. That sentence, the meaning could not be the complete thought because of maybe this signaling word, right? So you should be able to know there's a but here, or there's a not. If you remember, somehow some of the words they say they sound to be they're talking about this, but they will show you say somewhere maybe a certain word, a connecting word, not. So these are some of the signaling words or listing, whereby they're talking about firstly. So you say, oh, these are the many points. Firstly, secondly, or another point. So those are also signaling words or similarity, words that are showing similarity, right? The next, or then, or similarly, or likewise. So these words can give you an idea. Yes? Can give you an idea. You're coming here. Oh, you have got an explanation for this class. Why you have come this time? I mean, oh, okay. All right. I think in the meantime, we can save that explanation. Just go there and sit for the remaining of the minutes. Maybe you're going to explain later. I don't think is that explanation needed for the rest of the class? Okay, so you can go. If you sit, maybe you're not going to sit. I don't know which is your decision, but in the meantime, I'm wrapping up. That's why I'm saying that if you can tell me later on, right? But I think we have finished the main topic today. So you catch up, later on. Then some other signaling words in addition words that are showing addition, like you see the words like additionary, furthermore. So all these signaling words, you circle them. Eye-catching words, right? When reading the passage, you should circle any eye-catching word so that later you can find out the information you need. Because some other eye-catching words might be placed there deliberately, right? They might have specific connotation to the text. So if you ignore some such kind of words, you might miss important information. So also watching visual information, any visual material that is added to your text, meaning diagrams, photographs, those are part of the information. Don't ignore those. Make sure that you pay attention to them. And as we talked about there, we were talking about the analyzing text, inference, images. You can use your inference to have an idea, a meaning. So this one say reading directions. When I say reading directions, it's like, the text might be directing you to something. It's like they are guiding you to something. If somebody talks about the A, B, C, for example, if somebody talk about A, B, C, you know the next is D, isn't it? Obviously. If they say A, B, C, D, E, you know that after E is going to be another letter. So that's the direction. So if you are reading a text, don't just randomly read as if you are reading or you have been taught to read something at church, a passage. Because most of the time people at church, they don't even understand what they are reading about. They just told, can you read chapter Jagut? They will just read. But if you can ask them, what were you talking about? What do you understand what you're talking about? They will say, no, it isn't. But as for us, we say, you should be able to know, with this information I'm reading, they are pointing to this. How do you know that? Usually, each paragraph has got a certain main idea, right? So you should be able to know, okay, this one idea, this one, that one idea. And if they are talking about the specific elements, as we talk about that, they are giving, as we talk about on this stage, we say that the circling, you circling the, there was this point I was talking about here. Here. I'll say these are like the weights, like similarities, right? Where, or let me say listing, when they are giving you listings, whereby they're telling you first, second, those are the points you can get. Oh, if they are talking about this is the first point, this is the third point, I think maybe the fourth point could be this. That's the direction. You could read, see what you have been reading, and so I'm saying that it's like a novel or a film. If they are telling you, a police investigate, you know what next. Either they could have been arrested. So that's something that you can anticipate. So those are just things that the elements that can help you, navigate easily through text. Looking at sample answers. Some of the books have got the answers. Most of the books, they will have questions after the paragraph or passage. So they might have answers at the end of those questions. So sometimes you might answer the questions, but we don't know which is the true answer. So it's better to look at sample answers. Okay, what are they? So it could help you to grasp more. And just finally, and say you may analyze all the questions by circling them, as we already talk about them, and you try to memorize. Just like if you go to the SQR3R, like the memory part, you are done. So you want to test yourself that did you, get the material? Is it in your head, right? So you try to test yourself by see if you can recite them, if you can remember them, something like that. But this is just a general approach that when you are, according to which approach you can use. But when it involves intensive reading, as I say, it's better for you to have a strategy, specific strategy. Why do we have a strategy? You see, almost a big job, as already talked about, to read randomly, long passage of text. And if you don't understand, you have to go back, start reading again. So it'll be a problem. But if you have that strategy of say, okay, I'm reading, I'm looking for these questions, or I'm trying to answer these questions, it will be much more easier. And you should be able to answer them, not just memorizing as memorization per se, if it's a passage, but you should be able to recite, right? Using your own words, which is much more important, right? So that is that. I think that's the end of this small passage. And to recap, for even you who have come very late today, the main topic of today we are talking about inference. So that's why we talked about this word called inference. So I say inference is like, as you are reading text, you should be able to make a conclusion. This is the inference equation. You should be able to see some clues in your text, because we are saying that they might not tell you always what they are talking about exactly, but they might give you some clues to what they are talking about. So when you see the clues, you get the clues, you ask yourself what you know about the clue, then you make a conclusion, right? As we say that this best example as this image of like this image of showing like this one. We say if somebody can just tell you, okay, who do you think this equipment is belonging to? You would look at it, oh no, I think I've seen that had before. A police officer had that. So you could say this could be belonging from a police officer because you are these crews adding together, and with your memory is telling you this should be a police officer. If you could just see a hat, you will say that maybe it could be a police officer, but maybe it's a traffic officer, or maybe. But when you combine the hat and this one, you could say, oh, maybe this one could be maybe a riot officer. But when you have more clues, more details, if you combine them, the more closer to the actual truth is going to be. So it's going to help you as you go through the text, whereby you don't have to wonder all the time to say, this is Chakuti. But when you look at the information, you can be able to conclude. Right, so that's what we'll be talking about. I think we're done. There's a paper going around there. I believe everybody has right, which is something. Okay, so this far, any question or any complication of what we have talked about? I think like it's a straightforward presentation, right? If you follow did you manage to get anything from the online portal? Somebody told me that they were having a problem to get materials from there. I don't know if anybody has managed to go on the online and get something, like maybe assignment or something. I want to just be sure. I gave somebody to upload something. It's there. Okay. So I think I just have to maybe add my other materials. But I also share on WhatsApp. I don't know if I shared the last slide. I have to look if I did share the previous one, but I also share this slide. But as I say, you can add information. This slide are not conclusive. They're just part of the information. That is a little bit simpler. But you can also search for further information about this. But I will share. Although, as I told you, that they insist that we should be uploading online, where you should be getting from the portal. But sometimes you can have a problem. But still, I will also make sure that it's been uploaded there. So I think this is where I can stop for now. If there is any other questions, you can raise them, or maybe contact, or if it's clear, it's okay. But still, try to to go through them and just to make sure that you understood. Because I mean, issues like this sometimes would be examinable. Yeah, you would have a passage and say, okay, read the passage and give me the inferences that you are getting from the passage. So you should be able to know how do you make inferences. You make inferences by you have got pointers. Each and every passage have got pointers to what is they are talking about. If you can remove the pointers, you don't get anything. But if you see the pointers, you know that this is the main point. I mean area they are talking about. So if you can do that, you could conclude it. So, okay, they are talking about this. This is it means this by just looking at the details. Right. So I think that's where I can be pause and call it maybe a day, I don't know, a morning or something. Right. So anything, any additions from anybody? There's no additions. We're gonna call it a day. See, you're done with Fujin writing. We're gonna meet in the next class. Like, how many have you come there? I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're 10. Okay. The word look, it seems that there are some other people. I don't know. Some people who have decided, some people who usually sit this side. I'm seeing the names here. Gabriel, Charity didn't come. Charity didn't come. Gabriel didn't come. Praise didn't come. I don't know. That's none of my business. Yeah. Okay. Let's pause there. Maybe I'm okay. I don't know. I don't want the class to hear your explanation. We are done for now. We are done for now. Okay. Oh, well, no problem. No problem. If maybe yeah. Oh, 2 weeks in a row. Okay. Yeah, I think I saw the message. I didn't know who. Oh. Okay. So today? Okay. Yeah, food is everywhere. It's everywhere, even myself. Right, okay. Let's just hope that you're going to catch up. Make sure that you check what we did. Because I said some slides, I believe, but just make sure that you have what we did in the first, what we did last time, and what we are doing today. Because I share slides usually. You have seen them, eh? Okay. Should be